Gabriel looked like any other food vendor until he started analyzing his customer base. Recent border crossers. Document issues. Organized transportation. 19 years of smuggling investigation had taught him to recognize these patterns. I need to call federal authorities. Before we dive into this incredible story. Tell us in the comments which city you're watching from today. And if this story moves you. Make sure to subscribe because tomorrow I have something very special planned for you. Gabe's authentic Mexican kitchen operated from a converted food truck that served the construction sites. Office parks. And residential neighborhoods of El Paso's east side. Offering freshly prepared tacos. Burritos. And traditional dishes that had built a loyal following among workers who appreciated both quality food and reasonable prices. At 11:30 a.m. on a Thursday morning. The truck was positioned at its regular spot near a busy construction project where crews took their lunch breaks. Gabe Mendoza had been operating the food truck for 2 years. Ever since he'd moved to civilian life seeking a quieter existence than his previous high-pressure federal career had provided. At 41. He discovered unexpected satisfaction in preparing authentic Mexican cuisine that connected him to his cultural heritage while providing genuine service to working people who needed good food during busy days. The business had grown through word-of-mouth recommendations from satisfied customers who appreciated both the quality of Gabe's cooking and his professional approach to food service. His recipes were authentic, his ingredients were fresh. And his ability to manage the complex logistics of mobile food service while maintaining health department standards had established him as one of the area's most reliable food truck operators. Gabe approached every aspect of his business with systematic attention that most customers attributed to good entrepreneurial instincts and natural business sense. His route planning was efficient, his food preparation was meticulous. And his customer service reflected genuine pride in providing meals that reminded people of home-cooked Mexican food. The food truck served a diverse clientele. Construction workers needing hearty meals during demanding physical labor. Office employees seeking alternatives to chain restaurants. Families wanting authentic Mexican food for weekend gatherings. And various individuals who had become regular customers due to Gabe's consistent quality and fair pricing. What customers didn't realize was that Gabe's approach to observing people. Understanding movement patterns. And recognizing behavioral indicators had been shaped by 19 years as a Border Patrol agent specializing in human smuggling investigation and immigration enforcement along the U.S.-Mexico border. His federal background had involved identifying smuggling operations. Recognizing recently crossed individuals. Understanding the organizational structures that facilitated illegal immigration. And investigating the criminal networks that generated billions in profits through systematic exploitation of people seeking better lives in the United States. During his first year of food truck operations, Gabe had served hundreds of customers without his federal training activating any particular concerns. However, in recent weeks he began noticing patterns among certain customers that triggered investigative instincts he thought he'd left behind after retiring from Border Patrol service. A group of about 12 individuals had become regular patrons. But their behavior and circumstances raised questions Gabe's 19 years of immigration enforcement had trained him to recognize. They always paid with cash. Avoided card use. Showed visible nervousness around any uniformed personnel in the area. And displayed the kind of hypervigilance that characterized people actively avoiding law enforcement detection. More significantly, these individuals carried markers Gabe immediately recognized as signs of recent border crossing. Their clothing showed distinctive wear patterns consistent with prolonged walking. Their shoes were common brands often sold in northern Mexico. And their limited English proficiency combined with clear unfamiliarity with U.S. customs suggested they were new arrivals. The physical exhaustion on their faces, deep under eye circles. Stiff body movements. And unusually hearty eating patterns spoke of people who had endured long. Difficult travel with inadequate rest or nutrition. The group's interaction patterns were equally telling. They never appeared entirely relaxed. Even when eating, they arrived at the same times. Kept close watch on their surroundings. And carried on conversations that seemed coded or abbreviated. Often glancing toward corners of the street as if waiting for visual confirmation from someone not physically present. Gabe's trained instincts told him this wasn't random patronage, it looked like organized coordination. His Border Patrol years had taught him to distinguish between documented immigrants adapting to life in the U.S. and individuals caught in the machinery of smuggling networks. These customers fit the latter profile. Especially when considered alongside other details that were becoming harder to dismiss. Some occasionally asked for services unrelated to food, directions to bus depots. Questions about transportation routes. Or even quiet inquiries about nearby housing options. Their questions revealed little knowledge of the area. Reinforcing the impression that they were transient and unfamiliar with local geography. There were also financial clues. While they consistently paid in cash, the amounts often exceeded their purchases, and tips seemed oddly calculated. As though dictated by someone else. At times, Gabe noticed that one member of the group would pay for several others, who then pocketed their food without exchanging any money themselves. This pattern suggested dependence on a central organizer, someone providing funds and instructions while keeping the group under close control. As Gabe watched these patterns unfold week after week, his sense of unease grew stronger. This didn't look like isolated individuals making their way independently. It had the unmistakable signs of a coordinated smuggling pipeline operating right in the open, with his food truck unwittingly positioned at one of its community touchpoints. Gabe's analysis of his customer patterns revealed what appeared to be systematic coordination that extended beyond normal food service transactions, the timing of visits, the consistency of the group composition, and the behavioral indicators he was observing suggested these individuals were part of an organized smuggling operation rather than independent immigrants. His 19 years of Border Patrol investigation had taught him to recognize the specific operational patterns that characterized human smuggling networks. These organizations typically provided transportation, temporary housing, document services, and coordination for individuals who had paid substantial fees to be smuggled across the border. And established in various U.S. locations, the individuals patronizing his food truck showed signs of being in transition rather than permanently settled. They didn't appear to have stable local employment. Their clothing and personal belongings suggested temporary living situations. And their interactions indicated they were waiting for something or following instructions from external coordinators. More troubling was the apparent involvement of additional individuals who seemed to be managing or supervising the group. Gabe had observed several occasions when different people arrived to speak with his regular customers. Conducted brief conversations that appeared to involve giving directions or instructions. And then left quickly without purchasing food or engaging in any typical customer behavior. Their presence clearly serving a specific and purposeful role in overseeing the group's activities. Gabe's Border Patrol experience had exposed him to numerous human smuggling investigations. And the patterns he was observing matched operational methods used by criminal organizations that generated substantial profits through systematic exploitation of people seeking to immigrate illegally. The location of his food truck also made strategic sense for smuggling operations. The area provided easy access to major transportation routes, was busy enough that additional people wouldn't attract attention. And offered the kind of legitimate business cover that could explain why various individuals might gather at predictable times and locations. Gabe realized he was potentially witnessing active human smuggling operations that fell under federal jurisdiction and required immediate attention from immigration enforcement authorities. His 19 years of Border Patrol service had taught him both the legal obligations and proper protocols for reporting suspected smuggling activities. His first concern was the welfare of the individuals who appeared to be smuggling victims. Human smuggling operations often involved exploitation, dangerous transportation conditions, and systematic abuse of people who had paid substantial fees but had limited recourse when criminal organizations failed to provide promised services. This is Gabriel Mendoza. Former Border Patrol agent, badge number 4129. Retired 2021. He said when connected to the Immigration and Customs Enforcement tip line, "I have suspected human smuggling operations occurring at my food truck location in El Paso, multiple indicators. Organized coordination. Probable criminal network." The response from federal authorities was immediate and serious. IC Special Agent Maria Rodriguez contacted Gabe within hours. Recognizing both the significance of his observations and the expertise he could provide for understanding the smuggling operations methods and scope, Gabe. Your background makes you invaluable for analyzing this situation, Agent Rodriguez explained during their secure briefing. "We need someone with your experience who has direct access to the suspected smuggling network and can help us understand their operational patterns." Working with active federal agents, Gabe helped map what appeared to be a sophisticated human smuggling operation that was using his food truck location as a coordination point for moving people through El Paso toward final destinations throughout the United States. "Your observations suggest this is part of a larger network that we've been tracking through other investigations," Agent Rodriguez told Gabe during their operational planning. "The patterns you're documenting could provide crucial intelligence for understanding how this organization operates." Gabe found himself operating his food truck while simultaneously serving as an intelligence asset for federal authorities who were investigating the human smuggling network that had been using his business location for operational coordination. His legitimate food service provided perfect cover for observing criminal activities, while his Border Patrol background enabled him to recognize evidence that untrained observers might miss. Your position gives us unprecedented access to the smuggling operation without alerting them to federal law enforcement interest, Agent Rodriguez explained. We need someone who can document their methods, identify key participants, and help us understand the complete organizational structure. The intelligence gathering phase required Gabe to balance routine food truck operations with systematic observation of suspected criminal activities. His federal training enabled him to recognize organizational patterns, coordination methods, and operational security measures that the smuggling network used to avoid detection while moving people and generating illegal profits. Gabe's analysis revealed that the El Paso smuggling operation was more sophisticated than initially suspected. The criminal organization had established multiple coordination points throughout the city. Used legitimate businesses as cover for their activities, and implemented communication and transportation systems that minimized exposure while maximizing the number of people they could process. They're moving approximately 50 people per month through your location alone, Agent Rodriguez reported during their case briefing. This represents several $1 million annually in smuggling fees. With additional profits from exploitation and fraud schemes targeting the smuggled individuals. His Border Patrol expertise proved crucial for understanding how the smuggling network avoided detection while conducting systematic criminal activities that victimized both the people paying for smuggling services and the communities affected by illegal immigration and associated criminal enterprises. The federal investigation culminated with coordinated operations across multiple states. Targeting the human smuggling network that Gabe's intelligence had helped federal authorities understand and penetrate. The investigation revealed criminal enterprises that had been operating undetected for several years while generating millions in illegal profits. Exceptional work, Agent Rodriguez told Gabe as the arrests and seizures occurred. Your expertise and access enabled us to understand this network in ways that would have been impossible without someone who recognized the smuggling patterns and could provide professional analysis of their significance. The operations resulted in 31 arrests. The seizure of over $3 million in criminal assets. And the disruption of smuggling activities that had been moving hundreds of people illegally across the border while systematically exploiting them through various fraud and extortion schemes. The investigation also led to the rescue of several individuals who had been held in dangerous conditions while awaiting transportation to final destinations. Demonstrating the humanitarian impact of disrupting criminal organizations that profit from human smuggling while disregarding victims' safety and welfare. Your recognition of the smuggling patterns prevented this network from expanding their operations and potentially endangering additional victims, Agent Rodriguez explained during case closure. These organizations typically continue growing until they're processing thousands of people annually while subjecting them to increasingly dangerous conditions. The case received regional attention as an example of successful human smuggling investigation. But Gabe declined most interview requests. The food truck operator who'd recognized federal criminal activity preferred to focus on returning his business to normal operations while maintaining awareness of immigration-related crime indicators. Gabe returned to routine food truck operations with new appreciation for how his federal background continued to serve community protection and immigration enforcement in unexpected ways. His business had been cleared of any involvement in criminal activities. And his cooperation had helped protect both potential smuggling victims and the broader community from criminal exploitation. 6 months later, Gabe had consulted on 2 additional suspected smuggling cases. Helped train other business owners in recognizing human trafficking and smuggling indicators. And had become an informal resource for immigration crime prevention along the border corridor. People think running a food truck is just about serving good food, Gabe explained to a small business association meeting, but we're also community members who see patterns that might be important for public safety and immigration enforcement. His food truck had become a model for business-based crime awareness, demonstrating how proper observation of customer patterns and behavioral indicators could support federal law enforcement efforts while protecting communities from criminal organizations that exploit immigration systems. 2 years after the original smuggling investigation, Gabe had helped identify 3 additional criminal networks that attempted to use legitimate businesses for smuggling operations. His Border Patrol expertise, combined with his legitimate business operations, made him valuable for detecting and disrupting organized criminal activities. His secure phone buzzed with a message from Agent Rodriguez. New smuggling patterns identified in Arizona, similar operational methods to your El Paso case, available for consultation on business vulnerability assessment. Gabe looked at his food truck. Then at the community he served and protected through both authentic Mexican cuisine and federal crime awareness. I'll review the intelligence after closing today, he texted back. Some careers never completely end, they just find new applications and new ways to serve federal law enforcement and community protection. Gabriel Mendoza. Former Border Patrol agent. Current guardian of immigration security and small business integrity. Continued his work one meal at a time. 1 Protected community at a time. Proving that the most important federal investigations often begin when someone knows how to recognize criminal organizations hiding among legitimate business operations. Sometimes the most crucial smuggling cases are discovered through routine business interactions. By people who understand the difference between legitimate customers and criminal networks exploiting immigration systems for illegal profit while endangering vulnerable people seeking better lives. Have you ever noticed patterns in your community or workplace that seemed unusual or potentially connected to criminal activity? Share your observations in the comments below. And tell us what city you're watching from today. If this story of hidden federal expertise and immigration crime prevention inspired you. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Don't miss the compelling stories appearing on your screen right now. Click to discover more tales of everyday heroes who use their backgrounds to protect communities in unexpected ways. Because sometimes the most important federal investigations begin when someone knows how to recognize criminal operations disguised as routine business interactions.
See you in the next videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe.